Business Geeks, to the Business Geeks podcast, an entrepreneurial show where three friends geek out loud and proud on everybody's business. I'm Super Joe Pardo of superjoepardo.com and indiepodcasters.com. I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Jennifer Crawford, the co-founder of Sparent.co, and Samantha Riley of SamanthaRiley.global. This week, we are talking about one specific topic because it's a biggie, and I think that we all have pretty strong feelings about it. And we are going to be playing a video probably throughout most of this episode called the Contrapreneur Formula Exposed, and it's powerful, and I know I have pretty strong feelings about it. I'm going to have to resist throwing out any kind of words throughout the show, so we'll see how this goes. So, the Contrapreneur. Who wants to take a first stab at this?
Well, I always like to start with a definition. Sometimes we throw words out, and maybe people don't know what the heck we're talking about. And it's very easy to just tack on preneur to a lot of prefixes. So I have a couple of definitions. They're very similar, but so a contrapreneur or contrapreneurs are people who appear to be ambitious entrepreneurs offering exciting business opportunities, but who instead offer a scam that causes their victims to part with their money. Urban Dictionary calls them con artists who make their fortune by fooling wantrepreneurs into thinking they're getting a great deal or coming into some easy money, when the reality is it's the contrapreneur making the real money. So those are two definitions that will get this conversation started. The gentleman, Mike Winnett, who is the creator of the video that we're talking about, has really sort of made a second career for himself, exposing what he calls these Insta gurus. And it's a really fascinating topic, I think, because we've all seen them out there. And because of social media and other things, it's pretty easy for people to make themselves look like a legitimate brand, a successful business person, and we don't really have a great way of fact checking that. So that's where this discussion is, coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that this is a tricky topic, to be honest, because I know for myself, I actually, depending on who we're talking about, can be on both sides of the fence. So this is going to be a very interesting topic. I don't know, should we start off with this Contrapreneur Formula that Mike talks about, which is what he's talking about essentially is NLP. NLP. Yeah.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Thank you for filling that in, Jen. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually the one on the other side of these things where people throw out acronyms or words, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So because I'm usually that person, I am always very sensitive to other people who might be hearing a term for the first time through no fault of their own. So so he goes on to say in this video that there is a formula, and he's come up with this formula, or noticed this formula, I should say. He hasn't created the formula, because he's gone and attended a lot of these events put on by these, quote unquote contrapreneurs. And so he's noticed similar things at all of them and how they go about convincing people to part with their money and buy their programs. Do I have that right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Did I just summarize that? Okay. All right.
You summarized that so well.
See, Lisa says, what's a contrapreneur? I think she came just a few minutes after the definition, or maybe she heard it. I think she'll catch on as we go through.
Be able to go back. Absolutely. I think it will become obvious any moment. And I'm sure that I'm not the only person, or I'm hoping I'm not the only person that's been to one of these type of events. Jen and Joe, have you been to one of these types of events that Mike's talking about in this video?
I
Nope.
have not, but please understand, I am skeptical by nature, and I have this uncanny ability to spot BS. So, these types of events have always struck me as a little swarmy, if I can say that. A lot swarmy, because they are preying on people that really want to be successful, and they want to make a lot of money, and they don't necessarily know how to go about it, but they have this picture of success dangled in front of them like a carrot, and these people are really good at convincing them that all of these riches are attainable without a lot of effort. And it's a highly unregulated industry, which compounds the problem, and I think makes this particularly I don't know. I don't want to say evil. That might be a little strong, but it makes it particularly ripe for a lot of victimization.
Absolutely. This is where I start to where it starts to get a little bit tricky. They're talking about, in this video specifically, the Contrapreneur Formula. And what they're meaning by that is the sequence of events that happens right from before, the seating, before you even walk into the room, the way that things are rolled out during the event. And it is a formula. Now, I've been to some of these more shady kind of events. And I know that we're going to go into those a little bit more, and I'm going to talk about one that I went to just this year. However, I also know people that use this formula that are not using it for evil. They're using it for good. And this is where I think that it's really, we've got to be careful that we don't tar everyone with the same brush, because one of my mentors, I signed up for his program. He was using this formula, and I worked with him for 3 years and learnt so much. He's a really good guy, taught so much, and still does teach so much amazing content, but uses this same formula. So I think it's not the formula that's the problem. I think it's whether you use it for good or whether you use it for evil.
Well, I have a question, Sam, regarding your mentor who uses the formula, because I think we're going to go through it. But one of the pieces of the formula, actually, there are a couple pieces. So one that involve getting other people involved in the examples that Mike Winnett is using. So when they need social proof, they're actually showing you or introducing you to other successful people, or they're showing pictures of them with successful people and with endorsements by successful people. But these endorsements, a lot of times, they have paid for. And they also will show you people like rushing up to purchase the program. So then you feel like, oh, like I need it too. Like this, I'm getting caught up in the excitement of wanting this. And that line to to purchase are also paid people. So my guess is that your mentor, although he may use the formula, doesn't necessarily take it to that level.
No, so he still uses case studies, obviously. We have, like, as coaches, as business owners, we do need to use case studies. It's a really important piece of the puzzle. No, he doesn't pay them. How did I know that at the time? I didn't. I just believed him, and, he's a good guy and he's truthful, and they were real case studies. Lucky for me. And he didn't do the rush to the back of the room. Right. So that piece he doesn't do that.
And I think that's where I have the biggest issue. Like, I don't have a problem if you've got a marketing formula that works for you. I mean, we're all business people. We've all used marketing tactics. Where I part ways with a marketing tactic is where they part with honesty and transparency. If you're going to show me a use case, show me a real use case. If you have a testimonial, like, what's the problem with getting a real endorsement from somebody who's bought your program? If you can't, provide that, then, put on your suspicious pants because I don't trust you anymore. So I think your mentor, I have no problem with your mentor and the way he's doing things, Sam. But I think, and I feel badly for him because I feel like he could suffer by the snake oil salesmen that are in the industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I wanted to mention that straight up because I don't think that, and I just did mention it, that we should tar everyone with the same brush. However, what is in this video is icky, and it is just icky.
But is it, hold on, but is it icky because of the way he's portraying it? Just to play devil's advocate.
Okay,
I'm not disagreeing. I just...
I don't think he is in this because I know who he's talking about. And the icky part about all of this, and I've been in a room only back in March this year. I was down in Adelaide, and Leon, my hubby, and I went to one of these events, and the shaming practices that happen in the room are absolutely revolting. There is no better word. The shaming practices are just... I've got no other words. And this is what he's talking about here, or one of the pieces that he's talking about. You know, we were in this room where we were shamed if we didn't agree. Like, it was just pure, you know, hypnosis, I guess, in a way, of getting you to think and do certain things. Not only did this person shame the audience, he also shamed other coaches from stage. And I just thought, not good enough. It is not an honest practice. Like, if you're really as good as you say you are, you don't need to shame anyone. Just tell us how good you are.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's real bad. That's a real bad tactic. I'd like to back up, like, the step one of this, you know, Contrapreneur Formula is establishing authority. And this is, Sam, I think we're going to, you know, go back and forth into a little bit of a gray area again, because, you know, I have clients and, you know, I talk to business people all the time, and we talk about establishing authority, and we talk about ways to do that, you know, writing a book, you know, developing a platform, whether that be a podcast or a blog or an event or something like that. I believe strongly in that. At the same time, it's not difficult to get a book published or even to get best-selling status on Amazon. It's not difficult to start a podcast and call yourself, you know, the business expert. So again, I think we all have to do our due diligence in researching the people that we look up to and the people that we, you know, want to garner advice from. We really have to go that extra step to make sure that they're actually legitimate.
Absolutely. And Jen, you did say, you know, anyone can be an Amazon bestseller. And I think that we can get very caught up because there are a lot of people in our world that are Amazon bestsellers to say, well, anyone can be. But in the scheme of how many billion people in the world, how many of them are actually Amazon bestsellers?
I didn't say anyone. I said it was easy to game the system and become.
Sorry. Okay, big difference there.
Sorry, there's a difference there. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, sorry. Morning ears. I'm back.
Okay, that's okay.
Well, there you go.
but yeah, you're right. I mean, these are all, you know, they're all legitimate tactics to build your authority, and there's nothing wrong with them. But there have been snake oil salesmen, you know what, they used to sell miracle cures for disease. Yep. They're always going to be out there, and they're always going to tarnish, or there's always going to be the potential for them to tarnish the reputations of people that are legitimate, right? We see it in almost every sector. You know, coaches, really, you know, real big problem in the coaching sector, where there are people that are not great coaches and are not what they say they're going to be, and they're charging people a lot of money and not delivering any sort of results. And then there's the legitimate people that are, you know, it's a calling, and they do actually, you know, make some meaningful differences in people's lives. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I think what I take away from this, you guys can tell me, is that we really have to be more careful in who we idolize.
Absolutely. I think one of the, and I hadn't heard this term, but I'd noticed it in other coaches, the term wishful identification. Had you guys heard that before this video?
I haven't heard that term,
No.
but I get it. I get it when you explained
totally.
it.
Yeah, where the people in the audience or the people in, the coach's audience want to be that person. I see it so often, and especially women coaches that, they look gorgeous. They've got the perfect hair, the perfect suit, the perfect heels, the perfect color lipstick, and everyone's just fawning over them. I don't think they're actually listening to what those people are saying necessarily. They're just thinking, I want to be that person. And these people prey on that wishful identification.
That happened to me once, and it had nothing to do with this topic, but I wishfully identified with a woman getting out of a convertible one time. And she just was beautiful, and she was dressed nice, and the convertible was so cool. I went to the car dealership that afternoon and bought my first convertible. And guess what? When you have curly hair and very fair skin, the last thing you need in your life is a convertible. I cannot be in the sun. I will spontaneously combust, and my skin is way too fair. My hair cannot be blown in the wind. It becomes a bird's nest. So I did not keep the convertible very long, but I was definitely wishful identifying with that stranger.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, we're getting a lot of comments. This is a conversation. It's fun.
Yeah, because I'm sure that a lot of us know these people or have been part of a world of these people. Now, what I found really interesting, I hadn't heard of, what's the name of this person again? Mike Winnett?
Winnett, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd never heard of him before you sent this through, Joe.
A lot of people haven't, but can I just point out real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it looks like you were looking at some notes, and I haven't said a darn thing since Joe. This only has 524,000 views. I just want to point that out, because that's like nothing.
That's quite low for what this topic is, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, the people that are watching it are like people like us who already probably know that there's stuff going on that's not, and he's just reaffirming what we already feel like we know, and reaffirming, in my sense, what I don't want to be as a consultant, as a coach, and bringing people in both on the indie pod side as well as in the business optimization side, because like, I want to actually work with people, not just put them into a program that like has them paying me $2,000 a month to do nothing. Like, that's terrible.
Right.
This I feel though is where the big problem or the biggest issue is here, because this formula actually works. And if we don't, I think that I can't speak for you two, but I know that the practices like this have held me back in the past, because I don't want to be associated as a person like this. I'm not like this, and I don't want people to think that I am. However, I also know that if we don't use some of this formula, then people won't sign up to work with us, and those same people will go work with the Contrapreneurs. So where does that leave us?
Well, it's not the only formula out there, and we can certainly do any formula, honestly. Again, it's just a lack of transparency, not saying that this I paid $25,000 to somebody for this endorsement. I think that is dishonest, particularly when you're praying. They make a point that often the people that are buying these programs are like 18, 19, 20 years old. They don't have like, the money to invest, but they're putting, like, who knows, maybe they're putting their college money into it. I don't know. But I just think that, there are people that have the money and whatever, it's not a hardship for them to pay for it, but there's no regulation here. There's no protections in place. There's no way to verify the claims that they are making. So it makes it really, really tough. But yeah, I mean, just honest business all the way. And if you can't be honest, then you have no right to take anybody's money.
Absolutely.
Can I also just point out in this video, he has a H zoom behind a Blue Yeti that has no wire coming out of it.
Nice eye, Joe. Nice eye.
Oh my goodness!
Saying. And when he was
Contrapreneur.
recording, when he was recording earlier, he was like recording into the mic where like it was like pointed at him versus like to the front of it. So I just wanted to point that out for all
No
our
smoke and
podcasting
mirrors
heads out
here
there.
at all. Which brings me to the next point, because as I was saying, I've never heard of this person, and I ended up going down a big rabbit hole a couple of weeks ago when you sent this through, Joe. And here's another interesting part of this, and this is where it gets really hard to kind of, who do you trust sort of thing. They were specifically talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, who is often at these events. He's the person that's put up on the advertising. So people say, oh, we got to go and see Gary Vaynerchuk. We got to go see Gary V. And he comes on just in the last hour, does his thing and goes off. And Mike said to him, it's great. You don't sell from stage. And Gary said, no, like he was pretty much saying how honest he was and how wonderful he was because he doesn't sell from stage. But hang on a minute, he gets paid because all of the other people pay to be there. Like, hello.
He becomes the carrot. He's dangled out there. Like I've seen ads in my Facebook feed for events where Gary Vaynerchuk is the primary, picture that you see. But then when you look at the event and you look at the schedule, you realize, oh, I'm going to hear Gary V talk for 5 minutes. I'm going to have absolutely no access to him. There's no Q&A. He's getting paid just to attach his name to this event and give it legitimacy and justify their really high ticket value. Again, we have to look beneath the surface of all of these, business experts who are promising us the sun.
But really, where does that leave Gary V? He's the one that's sitting there saying, yeah, all of those other people are snake oil salesmen. I don't need to sell because I'm better than them. But he's showing up on the stage being paid because of them. Like, is that just me that thinks, hang on a minute? No. You're part of the whole little puppet show, mate.
I mean, he's definitely in the ecosystem. I mean, if I don't want to speak for Gary V, but I could see him saying, well, hey, if somebody's willing to pay me $50,000 for, 15 minutes of my time, I'm going to take the money and walk away. You each have a responsibility to research and vet anything that you are spending your money on. That is not my job to do that for you. I'm just coming at it from maybe a Gary V angle. I don't know. I mean, this is a topic that is not necessarily black and white. There is some definitely gray area.
There's lots of gray area.
Well, there's was that Ty Lopez did an interview once with Mark Cuban. Does that make Mark Cuban in that same boat?
Was he paid?
I mean, Mark Cuban showed up at Ty Lopez's house.
I know, but was he paid?
I don't know, right? At least I think it was him. Let me see, Ty Lopez, and I'm pretty sure it was Mark Cuban, which is, it was. Yeah, Mark Cuban and Ty Lopez, 19 Lessons from a Billionaire.
I think technically the FCC does require you to disclose if you pay for somebody's interview, because that becomes sort of an advertisement or something. I think
right, it's an endorsement for you.
An endorsement. So, it's the FCC is probably not listening to every single podcast interview or YouTube video, but it's something to keep in mind. I mean, there is an effort, on the government side to make sure that people aren't swindled, but it's not ironclad, and it doesn't cover this particular case where these people are selling get rich programs.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big topic.
We can't fix it here today, can we? Darn. Just be careful out there, people. Just because somebody says they're an expert doesn't mean they are. It doesn't mean they deserve your money. And nothing's easy. There's no easy formula to being a successful business person. So I'm always a suspect if somebody's trying to convince me that it's easy.
So to me, there's like two aspects of it, right? Whether I'm trying to teach you to be the best version of the niche and service industry that you're in, or the industry that you're in, versus I'm trying to teach you how to show up and like have 100 people throw $1,000 at you at a piece to work with you and create a form of pyramid scheme out of that, right? Because and talking with somebody like back in like 2015, like what they effectively told me, where they're like, well, I had this business coach, like he's a business coach, and he's like, I had this business coach, and she, look who's making an appearance there.
That's Meatball stealing the show.
So so he's like, well, this coach I had was incredible. They were amazing. They showed me so many things, but I would never recommend somebody go to them. And I said, well, why not? Well, it's because they only charged me $500. So I can't charge other people to be a better coach more than that, or much more than that, even though they gave an amazing amount of value at $500. Because like what this person described to me was effectively like, I can only charge, like if I pay $10,000 for like a week or whatever to work with so and so big name person, like now I can go and add that fee roll that into my fee, because I can take that information and now roll it like that. And I'm like, and I spent maybe like 20-30 minutes with this person, and I'm like, you're effectively talking about a pyramid scheme. Like, it's not a traditional one, but it's like a understood one of like the industry. And I'm just like, wow, I don't really want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that at all. That sounds terrible. So I don't know. So like I know I had been kind of coaching adverse for a few years there early on, and only in the last couple of years have been more proactive with the idea that, like, you know what, screw that. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I've been around it. I've done it. I have friends that have experienced it. Like, I have this huge network, and, like, I deserve to help those people. Darn it.
There's people that want and for all of us, they want our IP, our expertise, our experience, and, we can help people.
Lisa says the guy who sells the To Be a Millionaire class drives a 1988 Oldsmobile.
And that all comes down to people's values, though.
Yeah, you can't go by that. Because you get to a point where, like, if you are a millionaire, like, I could just buy any car I want. What does it matter what I drive?
True.
Yeah. Or if I barely drive, why does it matter?
Warren Buffett still lives in the original house he bought when he got married. I think he paid $30,000. I'm sure it's had some additions onto it and some updated bathrooms and a nice kitchen, but it's the same house.
It definitely comes down to people's values. I know, some people like nice cars, some people don't care for them. And I don't think that that's necessarily how much someone earns. It's more about what's important to them.
Yeah. I think she's probably just making the point that, hey, like,
oh, totally.
The guy who like wants to teach you how to be a millionaire, he might not necessarily be a millionaire. I mean, I remember meeting a coach one time, and actually a friend of mine was paying this coach, and come to find out, like, he found out like mid coaching, that she like was couch surfing because she was homeless. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but this is not the picture of the coach that I would be trusting to give me business advice.
Yeah.
So, that happens.
Oh, slippery slope.
Slippery slope. But I think we all, when I watched that video, I am guilty of one thing on that video, and I did it and I had no idea why. I did. When I priced my virtual summit, we priced it with a 7 at the end. And I was like, oh, I just see that all the time. And this is so unlike me. I'm usually not like, let's just do it because everyone else is doing it. But I just, did that, price ending in a 7. Because I was like, oh, it must work. That must be better than a price with a 9 on the end of it. So I'll do it. And it's in the formula. So I'm a Contrapreneur.
I don't think you are a Contrapreneur at all.
I'm a part Contrapreneur. I'm using the formula.
Actually, there was a I forget, it was like Shopify or one of those shopping cart companies. I don't remember which one it was. Like 4 or 5 years ago, they did like a whole analysis of like whether you should have a 5 at the end, a 7, a 6, like, and they because they had access to a ton of of resources to like investigate if it made a difference, right? The 5 versus the 7. And yeah, I think it was the 7 that people landed on. But I mean, look at like Walmart. Walmart uses the 7 for a long time too, and now they've moved to 5 because it I don't know, because people got used to the idea that a 7 eventually it'll be the 2, because people will just get overly abundant to hear that, because it's just taking you off of the big number, right? It's $997 instead of $909. Oh, that's $100, but $97 is still $97. It's still much cheaper.
I mean, I guess our brains, our reptilian brains, must respond to that. I just want to. Melissa Henry says that the 7 doesn't make me a contrapreneur. Just in case you guys were labeling me, I want to let you know that Melissa does not think I am.
Oh, Brent, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, it's tough, and I think as you know, business owners, as coaches and stuff, I think that we need to just constantly look and reevaluate ourselves on what we're offering and validate with other people, with the testimonials that we're getting, that like, hey, we're not doing this so that we could have some fat bank account that makes other people feel like they can go get this fat bank account. Because like, if that's what you're selling, that's different, right? That's just different. I think that if we are providing other needs and other needs and other wants than just money, then I feel like we're doing it without even realizing that we're not in that boat.
Totally. You know what else I think? And it just came to me as you were talking then, Joe. I think, going back to you saying there was only 500 and something thousand views.
Yeah, 520,000 views, yeah.
So the way that people find out about these things, right, is because these people have got huge marketing budgets and no one knows any better. What if good entrepreneurs like us, like the people that are watching this live stream, actually helped by spreading the message of all of us so that more people found out about the people out there doing good? I think that would be super helpful, so that we all help each other spread the message.
I think that is so great. I think small business owners are like some of the best people I know, have ever met, and that I, associate with. And all, with very few exceptions, they're very generous, hardworking people that will very enthusiastically support one another. Several of them are in the chat right now, which I'm so great. Lisa says she's been using social proof techniques for even her freebie downloads. It doesn't make us slimy. I agree. Social proof techniques do not make us slimy as long as they are honest, as long as they are real, not paid for, and genuine.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there we go.
Do we feel better? Do we feel any better?
I feel a little better. I feel like we got this like out of our systems. I think it bothers us so much because as business people, we try so hard to deliver honest value.
Absolutely.
To our customers, that when we see other people, being successful by doing the opposite, it just really boils our blood.
It really, really does.
I would equate it to, and I don't know if this is going to resonate with either of you, but but in baseball with the steroids and stuff like that, right? And the steroids isn't necessarily changing. The people that are already going to be great are going to be great. The steroids really comes into play when you have people that are on the bubble of being able to make the team versus, and they're not taking steroids versus, the person they were competing against to keep that spot on the team was taking steroids. Because that happened here. There was a story that came up not that long ago about a pitcher that got bumped off the Phillies team. And turns out that the guy who kept his job, kept his position, was taking steroids. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's those things where it's like, they're not being genuine, and
Honest.
it's hurting people, right? So in some ways, it's hurting. This is hurting us as business coaches and consultants, because it's taking money out of the pool from people who are like genuinely have the experience, genuinely have the fortitude to be genuine and want to help people in a way that isn't just about like the money part of it. Like that's
and the thing is, I think we've all started businesses without going to any of these events. And you don't need to listen to a self-proclaimed business expert to start a business or have a successful business. I think another element of all of this is we need to learn to trust ourselves. If you want financial advice, read Warren Buffett's book. I mean, really go to the real experts. I think you're better off reading a book than by going to these events and then trusting your instincts. And I think that's all I have to say on that.
I think you wrapped it up, Jen.
I think so too. And thank you for the comments. I appreciate that, Lisa. We're trying to bring topics to light and go deeper into those topics, and hopefully be somewhat entertaining throughout the time that we're doing it. So we appreciate that. We're apparently getting good feedback. So
the ladies are in the house. The ladies showed up today. I mean, Brent, we are always happy to have you because you are the greatest. But it's nice to see all the ladies in the house. My friend Lisa and Melissa, they're amazing businesswomen themselves. Melissa just did my brand photography.
I loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
no, I haven't seen that. No,
you haven't even seen everything yet. Melissa Dumple Photography. If you need brand photos, and everybody does, I am a convert. You definitely should work with her if you are anywhere.
So excited to see that.
Anywhere nearby. Yeah, she's amazing. So creative, so different. Yes, that's me. Six-figure salon for women who love running to the bank. And we're not teaching you how to get rich quick. I just want to point that out because I realize that this might seem suspect with our conversation. But I think our $77 summit is not going to keep you from paying your mortgage. So anyway, it's going to be a fun event. We're mainly focusing on relationship building at this event. So allowing people space to find potential collaborators, referral partners, expand your business network outside of your immediate one, along with some tactical knowledge for people who are looking to reach their next business financial milestone within the six figures. So I hope everyone will join me there. I had to pay for these photos, so you got to buy a few tickets if you don't mind. So, they're great and everything.
Let's keep the economy moving, people. Keep it moving.
That's right. And Melissa Dumble Photography is a sponsor of the event, so we are happy to be working with her.
Love it.
Fabulous.
Enough about me. You guys need to plug it up here because I just did mine.
Sam, why don't you take it? Take it from there.
No, I'm good.
Well, if you want to launch, grow, and monetize a podcast, the IndiePod University has changed over from, it's merged from a different program into that singularity. Oh, wait, this is why. Thank you very much, Jen. Was you passing it off?
Yes, trying.
Into a single program called IndiePod University, where you can learn to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast. And we actually have quite a few signups in the last couple of days, so I'm very happy about that.
Awesome.
So
you have got just so much content and such a robust, thriving community there. If you are
thank you.
If you are starting or have a podcast, it's where to be.
Absolutely.
All the knowledge, all the support, all the camaraderie in one place. That's so great. So valuable. And Sam, I know you're not pushing anything, but I love your podcast, and I actually have been meaning to talk to you about being part of the Six-Figure Salon too, but it's probably not the place to do it, but I'll email you.
Let's continue that on. And yes, thank you for mentioning the podcast, Thought Leaders Business Lab. We're coming up to 200 episodes in a couple of weeks. I'm a bit excited.
So good, guys.
That's
So
awesome.
good.
Congratulations. I love it.
Well, thank you.
I love it. Before we get out of here, let me just say my one cool thing for this week, because this was my episode of the Business Geeks podcast. Oh, JT Fox.
That sounds more like it.
I am writing it down.
Yeah.
Who is JT Fox?
He is a snake oil salesman.
Yes,
apparently.
he's in the fold with some of those others we spoke about.
With a name like JT Fox, you'd think that's all you need to be successful.
There you
Jeez.
go. JT Fox on the BBB. 9 complaints.
Oh, 9 complaints.
Only 9. I mean,
10
since
here. You count Melissa.
2017. Go hook it up, Melissa. Let's see. Lisa's interested in sponsorship info. I'm assuming she's talking to you, Jen. So you
Salon, absolutely.
I will slide our sponsor deck into your inbox shortly. I'll make a note of this.
Awesome. So what I wanted to talk about this week is if you're creating content for social media, YouTube, or anything like that, and you need music, Epidemic Sound, we're not sponsored by them, unfortunately. So maybe someday.
But we should be.
We totally should be. If for just $15 a month, you can have unlimited access to their entire soundscape. You get 30-day free trial right off their website. So I use it for all of my videos. It's super helpful as a content creator. So go check it out. epidemicsound.com. As I say, got 32,000 tracks and 64,000 sound effects. A lot of these sound effects came from there. So if you want some glass breaking, some getting beat up, as I tend to be, things like that, the record coming off, skipping, the ding, the claps, all of that is coming off of Epidemic Sound. So you should go and check it out. That's my one cool thing for this week. And I
love it. I didn't know anything about it. I'd never heard of that. That sounds
really?
That sounds amazing. I'm so glad you shared it.
Yeah, I mean, for $15, like you just put in like your social media accounts, and then you can share as much as you want. Like you can rip as much as you want off of there to put into your videos and all of that. The sounds are awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. So this episode, if you've enjoyed this episode of the Business Geeks podcast, where we talked about entrepreneurs out there, please share this show, the Business Geeks podcast, with the business geek in your life. And we'll be here next week, Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or Tuesday, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please shoot us an email at our super long email address, questions@businessgeekspodcast.com. We will see you all next week. Whose episode is it next week, by the way? Oh, it's Sam's episode. All right, looking forward to that.
It'll be awesome.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time tonight, and all the comments and all the love. Take care. Stay safe.